The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a seemingly endless cycle of violence and displacement, is a deeply entrenched struggle with roots stretching back over a century. Understanding its intricate history requires navigating the intertwined narratives of two peoples with profound connections to the same land. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed the nascent stages of this protracted conflict, marked by the rise of Zionism and burgeoning Arab nationalism, setting the stage for a century of dispossession, war, and unfulfilled aspirations. The seeds of the conflict were sown with the emergence of Zionism, a political movement advocating for the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine, considered the ancestral land of the Jewish people. Simultaneously, Arab nationalism was gaining momentum within the Ottoman Empire, of which Palestine was a part. Early Jewish immigration to Palestine, while initially limited, began to fuel anxieties among the Arab population, who viewed it as a threat to their existing social and political fabric. The pivotal Balfour Declaration of 1917, in which the British government expressed support for a Jewish national home in Palestine, further inflamed tensions and laid the groundwork for future discord. Following World War I, the British Mandate for Palestine, 1922 to 1948, became a period of significant transformation and escalating conflict. Increased Jewish immigration, driven by both ideological fervor and the growing threat of anti-Semitism in Europe, intensified the competition for land and resources. The Arab population, feeling increasingly marginalized and dispossessed, staged protests and uprisings, most notably the Arab Revolt of 1936 to 1939. As the Mandate period drew to a close, the irreconcilable demands of both communities led the United Nations to propose a partition plan in 1947, dividing Palestine into separate Arab and Jewish states. While the Jewish leadership accepted the plan, Arab leaders vehemently rejected it, setting the stage for the first major conflagration. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, known to Israelis as the War of Independence, and to Palestinians as the Nakba catastrophe, fundamentally reshaped the map and demographics of the region. Following Israel's declaration of independence, war erupted with neighboring Arab states. Israel emerged victorious, but the conflict resulted in the displacement of approximately 700,000 Palestinians, who became refugees in neighboring countries and the newly formed Gaza Strip and West Bank. These territories came under the control of Jordan and Egypt, respectively, further fragmenting the historical land of Palestine. The subsequent decades witnessed a series of wars and escalating tensions. The 1967 Six-Day War proved to be a watershed moment, with Israel's swift victory leading to the occupation of the Gaza Strip and the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt, the West Bank, including East Jerusalem from Jordan, and the Golan Heights from Syria. This occupation became a central grievance for Palestinians and the Arab world, fueling resistance movements and further entrenching the conflict. The 1973 Yom Kippur War, while initially a setback for Israel, ultimately led to a fragile ceasefire and paved the way for the Camp David Accords in 1978, a landmark peace agreement between Israel and Egypt that resulted in Israel's withdrawal from the Sinai Peninsula. The late 20th and early 21st centuries saw the emergence of Palestinian uprisings, the First Intifada, 1987 to 1993, and the Second Intifada, 2000 to 2005, which underscored the deep-seated frustration and desire for self-determination among Palestinians living under occupation. The Oslo Accords, 1993 to 1995, offered a glimmer of hope for a negotiated two-state solution, establishing a framework for Palestinian self-government in parts of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. However, these agreements ultimately failed to deliver a lasting peace, hampered by issues such as the expansion of Israeli settlements, the status of Jerusalem, and the unresolved question of Palestinian refugees. The early 21st century has been marked by a series of intense conflicts, particularly in the Gaza Strip following Israel's disengagement in 2005 and the subsequent Hamas takeover in 2007. The recurring Gaza wars, 2008, 2009, 2012, 2014, 2021, and the ongoing conflict that began in October 2023 have resulted in devastating humanitarian consequences and further entrenched the cycle of violence. The core issues that have fueled the conflict for over a century, the right to self-determination, the status of Jerusalem, the fate of Palestinian refugees, the borders of a future Palestinian state, and security concerns for both sides, remain largely unresolved. In conclusion, the history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a complex tapestry woven with threads of competing historical narratives, territorial disputes, and deeply rooted national aspirations. From the early stirrings of Zionism and Arab nationalism to the present-day violence, the struggle has been marked by displacement, war, and the persistent failure to achieve a just and lasting peace. Understanding this long and painful history is crucial to comprehending the current complexities and the urgent need for a resolution that addresses the legitimate rights and security concerns of both Israelis and Palestinians.